Alrighty then, after 25 minutes in the league queue, we are ready for round 2. We unfortunately are on the draw again, but this is a nice keepable hand of 1 drop, 2 drop. Fire Blast, again, sort of a brick in our hand. Our opponent presumably playing some sort of control deck here, but unlike the burn deck, we can actually, we can fight through Radiant Fountains. I mean, it's still a fine land to play against us, especially if they have the bounce land, but they always have the bounce land. Apart from this scenario where apparently that's their only land. They only mulligan to 6, so perhaps this was an ambitious keep by the opponent. Obviously I don't know what else is in their hand. So, so that was fast. This is just enough information to tell us that they're probably not an aggro deck, but it's not enough information to tell us exactly what type of control deck they are. It's likely that they're blue-black, so I'm inclined to take out the Searing Blaze. I'm inclined to take out like Fire Blast or something. So I mean, this is not final yet, but so what I'm thinking is if they are like blue-black control, they almost certainly have some pristine talismans in their deck that I really want to murder. I also probably want to bring in some Pyroblast if they are blue-black control, but if they're not, then like let's say they're like white-red value cards, like artifacts and that sort of thing. They have lots of bounce lands, thus they get away with playing lifegain lands. If there's something other than like a blue-black control deck, these Power Blasts are pretty bad. On the other hand, if they are that deck, then Smash the Smithereens will still be good against them. So I'm sort of looking at bringing in these. I guess Chain Lightning is probably worse than Fire Blast against these decks, just because like this is just a bigger face spell, and I don't imagine we want to bring in any other cards. Like if I knew for sure what was going on, I'd maybe want 4th Smash, but I don't. So we're just gonna stay as more or less. I mean, this could be a bit ambitious still. Like it's possible that they don't have any of those cards, and then I'm gonna look real foolish. But I'm gonna gamble on Smash being good against whatever type of deck that they're playing. Well, this sure is not a keepable hand. Neither is this. As I say, like this deck mulligans atrociously, so I would prefer not to be mulliganing constantly, but that's alright. So this situation of like if I play Bushwhacker, then I next turn the Mud Brawler's 2/2, but then obviously then I don't get to cast Bushwhacker later. So I get like an extra 2 points of damage in, assuming they don't play a blocker. And if I like kick the Bushwhacker later, it's probably good for about 3. So I'm actually not going to play Bushwhacker here. So yeah, this looks like a deck that Smash is pretty good against, and is not something I want to Power Blast against. I mean, it's still possible that they're on the Jeskai version and they'll have Mull Drifters, but I still don't think I want to bring in cards exclusively for that. This Valley Dasher, not going to be very good if they have Score Skyfisher, which is I think is likely to be in their deck. But the later the game goes on, the more likely this is just going to commit suicide against such a 2/3. So, oh well. Our opponent playing all these like random life gain cards, obviously fairly good against us. Not a whole lot we can do about that. I think I do want to run the Valley Dasher into the Missionary though. It will, as I say, Core Skyfisher almost certain to be in their deck, and I don't want to just give them it for free later. So we can just play Renegade Freighter this turn, and attack in for lots the following turn. Although it looks like, you know, it's going to be a tough matchup, having Mulligan and our opponent just playing all these massive life gain spells. You presumably have bolts and all that sort of thing too, so yeah, I mean, these decks are pretty good against red when you get to play Lone Missionaries. So Jackal Familiar, probably gonna board the train. Choo choo. I mean, it's almost certainly going to die, but you know, what you gonna do? Yeah, being on the draw against these decks is pretty terrible. If we're on the play against them, actually, I think we're pretty favored. They have all these come into play tap lands, so they're very slow at deploying their cards. So if we just like make 5/2/2s, I think it's okay. But when we're on the draw and they have like Lightning Bolt, Lone Missionary, and so on, it's pretty grim. Here, our creatures are, you know, if the opponent had double blocked there, I would have definitely bolted, but our opponent was correct and triple blocked. I don't see how we can possibly win this particular game. If our opponent just like plays some random creatures, I think we can just pack it in. We got firebolts too. Okay. Yeah, okay, they've got 5 cards. They're on 27. I don't have anything going on. I think it seems reasonable to pack it in. Like they have a firebolt too. So yeah, that's sweet. So we get to bring Searing Blaze back in. Fire Blast goes straight out because they're slow and don't do anything. Especially if they can like play a creature that gains 4, then a Pyroblast Blast is basically just countering a Lone Missionary activation, which isn't very good. You can argue for bringing Electricity to deal exclusively with their goblins, but I don't think that's a great idea either. I don't think we want to do much else, so yep, time to keep this and hopefully have a good draw in the play. This hand is, you know, a bit land heavy, but you certainly can't mulligan a 1-drop, 2-drop, like pair of attacking 2/2s on turn 2. If the opponent leads with, say, Ancient Den, then the question is whether we smash to smithereens it rather than play Mud Brawler. And I think that would be somewhat reasonable. Our opponent's deck usually doesn't have very many basic mountain in it, so usually they can't remove something until turn 2 at the earliest anyway. So it should be relatively okay. Alright, so this is fine. Obviously I could have played another Jackal Familiar there and like left up Lightning Bolt, but I think this works a bit better since now we can Jackal Familiar plus Smash to Smithereens Ancient Den. I'm doing that rather than smashing the Ichor Wellspring because it limits their mana available. I think they probably don't have too many other lands. If this is the first land they play, like followed by this, I feel like it's semi unlikely that they have. Okay, I mean, I guess it makes sense for them to have one of these, but so are they just dead? I believe they're just dead because they block Mudbrawler Cohort, take 4, go to 5, and then we have 2 bolts. So as I was saying, against this deck on the play, I think we're quite heavily favoured. Against, maybe not heavily favoured, but favoured at least. On the draw though, I think it's horrendous because they get so much extra time to set up their mass life gain effects. So yeah, we managed to squeak out victory against that deck there. Join me again for round 3. Hopefully I won't need to wait for so long this time.